What is up, party people? It is day 10 of this 8-week lean muscle building training cycle, which means it's day 2 of week number 3. We're in it. And today's session looks fantastic. I'm really glad that yesterday I just participated in the strength work. I did one additional set of the strength work. My body feels really great. I'm feeling well recovered, and I'm ready to hit this session with a high effort, with some solid intensity. Obviously never too much. And I think, let's see, I think the lean muscle's coming along, although that's just one piece of my body, but I feel that I'm pushing further towards some good lean muscle production. I've got some decaf cold brew that I made myself, and I've also reduced added sugar. So, as far as carbohydrates are concerned, I'm getting pretty benign stuff, things that are low with regard to glycemic load. Remember, glycemic index and glycemic load are very different, so that's having a good impact on lean muscle presentation. And of course, lots of water. I drink about 200 ounces a day. Holy smokes. Okay, this session, like I said, incredible stuff. We've got basically pre-fatigue pulling with a focus on abs. So what that means is we're going to pre-fatigue a important muscle inside of a pulling movement. And although it might not seem that way, we're pre-fatiguing the abs and we're hitting lean away pull-ups. So in the lean away pull-up, we really get a deep contraction through the abs. So even though it might not be considered a primary mover, right? The primary movers would be muscles around the back as well as the biceps. But because of the lean away, the abs get this deep contraction. So we're doing lying straight leg raises with a specific lowering phase, so a specific tempo. Resting only 30 seconds, so a very brief rest in terms of strength work. That's so that they can stay activated, stay primed up. The light bulb has been turned on, so to speak. I know I use that phrase a lot. And then 4 to 8 lean away pull-ups. Now that depends on how I'm feeling, how the body's, feeling recovered from the other session, all that jazz, and how, lean away pull-ups are tough. I want to get a specific tempo on those reps as well. Am I going to go singles? Do I want to go for unbroken reps? I'll probably feel that out in the prep work. I feel like I'm going a mile a minute. But it basically means, in my mind, that the abs are going to be working overtime when we get to the lean away pull-ups. So we're going to have basically this like ab pump going on inside of this strength work, even though we're not devoting a ridiculous amount of time to the abs. You'll see a lot of people waste their time on like ab circuits and 15 minutes of ab work on the back end of their session, or 20 minutes kind of intertwined with all their other crap, and it's really inefficient. You want to be burning a lot of energy if you want your abs to kind of pop, if that makes sense, that kind of, those like blocked out abs. If you want that, you need to be focused on burning energy. And if you really just want them to get strong and present in that way, again, they don't need to be hammered for you to be kind of have blocked out abs. You need to focus on burning energy. Being lean is how muscles present as, cut and defined. But we want to have those muscles, be strong, especially when we work on a lot of posterior chain focused exercises, deadlifts, lunges, squats, yada, yada, yada. So we want to have some balance there, and this is a great way to do it. And if you're like, I don't think so, we'll try it out. And with that being said, if you enjoy the info in these videos, if you're enjoying following along, I know there's not like a gazillion people watching, but if you're one of the people who finds this somewhat interesting and thinks the workouts are valuable, you work out at home, you have some dumbbells, some kettlebells, you go, wow, this training might be, appropriate for me. Like it, subscribe to the channel, give me a comment, give me a woohoo, or like a flex emoji or something, I don't know. That's always helpful, I know that. And in the description, you can access all of my training programs through the Train Heroic app. And all of those, you get a free week, no strings attached. So that's the deal. That's the main portion of the workout. However, there's an awesome finisher because we're not working the legs in that superset. There needs to be some leg work. If you're not roided out and you actually want to burn energy, you have to have some sort of lower body exercise every single session. And you can push on that and you can bitch and moan and, well, I do a bodybuilding split where like I train legs once a week. If you're really doing that, you need to be training a ton of volume in that session. Your session needs to be 2+ hours, and you need to be having awesome recovery protocols. And even so, I've never seen really that many people stay consistent when they have really specific body part splits. That's why everyone ends up jumping on gear, because it doesn't really end up working. But if you've got a ton of extra, testosterone coursing through your veins, yeah, you might see some solid results. But if you don't want to do that and you want to stay natural, you got to train your legs often, because they're these massive muscles and they're going to help you burn more energy, and that's what's going to keep you lean. So a lot of people who follow traditional bodybuilding splits don't have a ton of time to devote to training. They're like, why am I not getting great results? I go to the gym pretty frequently. Well, you're not actually doing things that are going to help you burn a ton of energy, and you don't have the time. Some of you might, but most of us don't have the time to spend an hour, 4 times a week just walking on the Stairmaster. It's too much, right? You got your AM session where you're sweating your ass off, and then your PM session where you're, crushing strength work, or vice versa. Dude, if you have a 9 to 5, no fucking way. Okay, so with that, got a nice finisher. Swing to squats on either side. So there's gonna be 20, decent squats per round. There's gonna be 5 rounds, and then some alternating gorilla rows just to, fatigue the back muscles as much as we can without going overboard. Great prep work as usual, and I always feel like, maybe I could be more efficient. I'm looking at the time that's counting. Not bad. So we got some good prep work, and you'll see that in a second. And yeah, I'm excited for the session. Who doesn't love working the abs? Pull-ups, I always think go muscles. You got to work the go muscles to have the show muscles. So these big muscles on my back are going to get worked. I am going to combine it with the abs. Who doesn't love getting a little ab pump? And then on the back end, this nice burner that I can pace out appropriately, and I'll get this perfect blend of high effort with consistent pacing, sustainable output, and I'll feel really great going into my low day. So with that, we'll see you in a second. Be well, be at peace, be one with the universe, and I will see you in just a second for the prep work and the start of this session of fitness. All right, prep work circuit, starting with Cossack squats. You'll see I'm going to allow myself to come off the heel. This is really prepping us for the finisher. It's true we don't have squatting in the primary strength, but I do want my legs to be at least prepped. This is also a great way to get blood flowing, yada, yada, yada. So coming to one side. Now my ankle dorsiflexion is a limiter, so I'm going to allow my heel to peel off the floor, get some deeper knee and hip flexion. Really just trying to activate the groin, the adductors. It's an important part of squatting. And allowing my heel to peel slightly is going to push on my range of motion with regard to ankle dorsiflexion. So if I want to improve it, this is the way to push on it. And over the past year, it has gotten much better. My focus on range of motion quality continues to increase. Although I always wanted that to be the case, I was chasing weights and speed of, my cycle rate inside of workouts so much that at the end of the day, you end up, stealing from another bucket, and that would have been range of motion and true quality. So here's 9, I'm getting 10. I can basically push myself to stay in the heel on these last few reps. And the back rounds slightly, but again, this is all about knee, hip flexion, and of course ankle dorsiflexion. It's an unweighted movement. You can round the back and still stay safe. So Cossack squats, done and dusted. This is set 3. Gonna move on to extended scap pull-ups. Extended scap pull-ups are basically my go-to variation or scap pull-up variation when I'm preparing for lean away pull-ups inside of strength work, and you will see why when I get to the lean away pull-ups. But as always with scap pull-up variation, starting from a dead hang, As I lift myself up with straight arms, I'm pulling the legs and the upper back away from the pull-up bar. Obviously, I'm using a hangboard in this scenario. As I lift up, I'm also pulling away. I'm basically arching through my back. And if you haven't tried this variation out, you will feel so much tension through your entire back, all the way down to the glutes, because pulling the legs back as well will activate those glutes a bit. So I'm just getting 6 reps. Here's 6. Slow, controlled. If the quality's there, if you're pushing for a lot of tension, you don't need a ridiculous amount of reps. So there are the scap pull-ups. I'm going to adjust the camera once again for the remainder of the prep work. This is one of those prep work circuits where I'm using 5 exercises instead of 4 more often than not. It's 4, but because we've got some additional ab work inside of the strength superset, and we still have a lot of lower body on the back end in the finisher. Just nice to squeeze in an extra exercise. So this is the piece that's really going to prep me for the ab work. Hollow, trying to get my upper back off the floor, lower back pressed into the floor. Hollow band marches. I only need 10. I can already feel the impact. Second set, I was already shaking. Now I'm shaking more. Really deep contractions, obviously through the hip flexors, but staying in this hollow position, or as hollow as I can be, is tough stuff, and will have me feeling better for the lying straight leg raises. Although you will see, in comparison to other lifts, other parts of my body, hamstrings, glutes, bending patterns, pressing patterns, my abs are definitely lacking when you think of structural balance. So my ability to, create great tension through the abs, do a lot of work, in ab exercises, it's, lower than, my ability to bend, push, pull, etc. Next exercise, I've done this in prep work. I'm sure you will see this again inside of my prep work circuits. The kettlebell drop squat, because we have swing to squat, single arm swing to squats on the finishing piece. This is a good one to just get ourselves prepped for that drop. So shrug, you lean back slightly, you pull yourself into that nice squat position, and that first rep allows you to adjust a little bit. Where should my feet be for an ideal squat? And always there's going to be some minor, little clicking. It doesn't feel uncomfortable or anything. I have a repaired meniscus, so that tends to be the reason why my right knee clicks a little bit on any given squat exercise. It depends. Just 6 reps, not overdoing it. Not that additional reps would have been overdoing it. But yeah, just keeping it efficient, and yeah, feeling like, again, what is the least amount of work I can do to get the most amount of results, the most impact. So 6 reps feels good. I know I'll be ready to go for that finisher. And here I'm going to do 8 1 1/4 kettlebell towel rows. So pulling it into my belly button, quarter rep, and then back in. This is huge for loading up the muscles. We're smack in the middle of your back, the base of the lats, base of the rhomboids, and that's going to be really important for our lean away pull-ups. So there are plenty of moments or sessions where I like to utilize, just regular relaxed pull-up singles to get me prepped for pull-ups, but there will always be situations where a different pulling exercise feels more favorable. So, the lean away pull-up is basically a way where you could progress yourself towards levers, which would ultimately be horizontal in nature. So here's this horizontal pull where I can pull back further into my belly button, and that'll be important as I lean away from the pull-up bar, having those muscles activated. That would be more associated with like a horizontal pull, even though it starts with a vertical pull. So hope that makes some sense. You will see me in set 4 or 5. Sometimes I adjust based on how I'm feeling, but it's 4 to 5 sets of the lying straight leg raises into the lean away pull-ups. Take a second to recover here, probably a minute, 90 seconds, and I'll start getting into it. And you'll see the last set. I always want it to be high quality. I have a feeling the ab work will be a little funky for me in those final sets, but you'll see a set of that just so you can get a feel for that flavor, that texture. And if you want to use this, exact, workout, you absolutely can. So I will see you on the strength work. I've got about 30 more seconds to rest before I get to the straight leg raises for the 5th and final set, and then 30 seconds to transition over to the lean away pull-ups. I'll quickly run over here, adjust the camera so you can see my hangboard. But I will say this last set will be gnarly looking, no excuses, but it's more to just paint the picture that the beginning sets, they should be super high quality. 4th set, there might be some shakiness, but neither one of these movements has a ton of danger associated with it. They're both body weight movements, so it's not like, I felt shaky on the 4th set with a really heavy deadlift and like, I'm gonna try to crank out another 10 reps on the final set on a really fatigued body. So you'll see, as I said, my abs are lacking, and now I've let the rest go a little too long. My abs are lacking, so these leg raises don't look the best. But I want to show you at least this final set. So I'm already shaking in the hollow position. You might hear some air escape on my back. It's the lowering phase I really want to control. So I am going to use my fingertips to dig in a little bit and just give me some support. I'm just coming to, perpendicular with the floor with my feet and my legs. So just straight up. It's that lowering phase that I want to be super controlled. As you can see, I'm fighting to keep my shoulders up, but they want to drop because I'm getting fatigued. My lower back is starting to lift. So there's 5, I'm getting 8 reps. Okay, so there's 8, 30 seconds. I'll transition quickly. Then we got the lean away pull-ups, which are also getting tough to lean back on because of the fatigue in the abs. I'll see you in a sec. All right, jumping right in for the sake of the rest period, and I'll break things down in just a second. These will not be the greatest reps ever. So that felt solid. I'm getting 4 singles, about 10 seconds of rest in between. Whew. All right, not terrible as far as the last set is concerned. Obviously shakier than my opening sets and a grind. That's where you want to think about sustainability on the front end. You shouldn't be grinding on set 2. That means it's not just going to be a push on the last set. It means it's going to be garbage reps, poor contractions, things like that. So you want to think sustainability as you're doing your strength work so that your final set is a grind, not your first and second sets. So that's just a really important principle to make great progress long term. That approach where you're grinding on set 1 and set 2, and you've got 5, 6, 7 sets of strength work, it's a great way to get yourself injured, tweaked, all that stuff long term, because you're going way over your threshold, if that makes sense. So consistency breeds the best results, and that's really that. I feel really fresh for this finisher. We've got squats, single arm swing to squats, 10 on one arm, 10 on the other. Then it's 20 alternating dumbbell gorilla rows, and there's an 18-minute cap for 5 rounds. So 18 minutes as a time cap for 5 rounds, 10 single arm swing to squats. I'll probably use a 40-pound dumbbell. My goal was to go 50. Let's just go 40 and make sure we can nail the workout underneath that time cap. 10 on one arm, 10 single arm dumbbell swing to squats on the other arm, 20 total alternating dual dumbbell or alternating dumbbell gorilla rows. That means we can average like 3+ minutes per round, and that'll keep us in a place where we can intervalize the workout. I always like that approach. Let me at least try to get every round within the 3 minutes, and then I can step back. Let's say I finish the round in 2 minutes and 20 seconds. I could take a minute, minute 10 seconds to relax, and I'll still be able to beat that time cap, get the volume in without trashing myself. So you'll see 1 set of that, and then that's going to be the workout. So stick around to check that out, because if you want to do this workout, you'll want to see the approach. Make sure that you're nailing the actual pacing, all those things, range of motion, quality, yada, yada, yada. So I will see you there on the 5th set. It's going to hold myself to a standard to really make sure I'm staying sustainable. And let's check the quality when we get there. All right, I'm about 35 seconds from starting my 5th and final set. I have, as I said, intervalized this workout to create a word or trademark a word. Intervalizing workout. So it's 5 rounds for time. But if you give yourself a moderate, time cap, you can still hit it with a good effort, get it done efficiently, but not trash yourself. So you'll see it's like a 2-something minute round, but it's not killer. So here it is, 3, 2, 1. It's starting with 10 single arm swing to squats per side. Take about 10 seconds in the transition. And I'm gonna get 20 alternating gorilla rows. Let's bang these out. Okay, I've now given myself about 90 seconds to rest between the final rep and speaking right now. Again, I feel really solid. I'm sweating. I'm out of breath slightly, but I am not going to be trashed for all of the sessions remaining in the week and the weeks ahead. 8-week cycle. 3 weeks in, you're in it. This is where a lot of people start feeling too trashed because they've hit it too hard in those first 2 weeks. Instead of using those first 2 weeks as an opportunity to gauge how you feel with every session, what is the output, given, or what is the output that, feels right based on the programming. This is all about lean muscle. So maybe those first 2 weeks I pushed a little too hard in a place where I shouldn't have based on the context. The context is all about building lean muscle. So if I wanted to increase my bench press, it would look very different on paper than this lean muscle cycle. I might not superset my bench pressing with some other lower body exercise because I would just be focusing on hammering heavier weights and resting, 3+ minutes in between sets with high percentages of my, 1 rep max, or maybe you're trying to increase your 3 rep max. It would depend on your ultimate goal there. But that's just to use an example that this is different. So when people are really hustling to get more lean, and improve their aesthetics naturally, they usually end up going too hard instead of recognizing that sustainability will trump all other, mindsets, all other approaches. So keeping things sustainable. That allowed me to get 100 single arm swing to squats, obviously, split between sides, and, 100 alternating gorilla rows, same thing, split between sides. So great finisher, some high quality tension on the pull-ups. In another scenario, I think I could get more, but it's limited rest, 2.5 minutes in between each set. And you've got the abs leading into the lean away pull-up. So with that, I don't know if the, the lighting is better over here, but the lean muscle is definitely improving. Maybe at some point in this journey, I'll take a picture outside where the lighting is better to show you how things are progressing. But, if I give one, maybe, flex like this and one like this, I think considering I'm a, natural, we can say athlete, but a natural human being, I'm not taking any, outside, injections of, testosterone, hormones and everything. I think the progress will be really, really solid for that, for my approach to fitness. Yeah, you can probably get, beefier in these 8 weeks if you're on gear, but that's not the case. Just seeing what the heck, back. I'm not a professional poser, so I don't know all my, side chests, lats and everything, but feeling good. I think the program's been going really well. This was an excellent session. I hope this has been valuable to any of you who are still watching after my shitty flex off. Anyways, if you have been watching, thanks so much. Like, subscribe, leave a comment if you have any questions or anything. And I will see you on the next one, which will be Thursday after my low day. And if any of you want to see a low day, what that looks like, again, feel free to comment. But right now I'm just focusing on the 4 higher effort sessions. So with that, peace, peace, peace.